Okay, welcome to our 4-H National Youth Science Day webinar. This year's theme is Drone Discovery. In October 2016, you will become part of the biggest youth science event in the nation and across the globe as well, because we have several people and sites across different installations that will be doing this project as well. During this year's challenge, you will explore how drone engineering and remote sensing can be used to solve real-world problems. So today we'll go over the experiments that are in your kit. Keep in mind that there are options and modifications that can be done to accommodate your site's needs. In the facilitator's guide, there is suggestions of activities depending if you are interested in doing the full challenge, a short and sweet challenge, or a low-tech challenge. So you'll kind of see that depending on age, depending on time, depending on what your technological needs are, you can really take different parts of this activity and shape it to your site. So this challenge is intended for 4th grade and up, but adaptations can be made. So if you do have younger youth in your program, there is definitely parts of this that they're going to love and get something out of. But definitely the 4th and up are going to probably be able to associate some of this with what they're learning in school and some of their science classes. So we are going to talk about the takeoff. Choose your drone adventure. This is the first part of the experiments. There's different steps of the experiments that kind of build upon each other. So let's go ahead and get started. This first part is takeoff. Youth will have some hands-on activity to learn about concepts of design and the difference between rotating wing aircraft and a fixed-winged aircraft. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at a video from National 4-H. So let me put my video up. Okay, do you guys see my National Youth Science Day website? Can you see that on the screen? Great. All right, so this is 4h.org, and this is their section of it for the National Youth Science Day, and this is where you can get lots of other information, and they've got some great little videos. So if you'd like to see this video again, you can easily go to this website and take a look at this specific section. So we're going to go ahead and watch this. It's just a few minutes long. Oh. Yes, I just wanted to make sure.
Thank you for joining us for the 4-H National Youth Science Day Challenge, Drone Discovery. I'm Josh Clickman, and I'll be your co-pilot. You're part of thousands of youth and volunteers becoming a 4-H engineer for the day at this year's 9th annual challenge. So this year,
Okay, sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Okay.
You can use the tail pattern to mark the rudder lines so you know where to cut the rudder on the tail. Next, you want to make cut slits for the left and right elevon on the back of the plane by following the lines that you drew earlier using your glider patterns. You'll use these to control the flight path of your glider. And then slide the foam tail into the back of your foam plane, like so. And you can secure it by taking some masking tape and placing it along the sides so that the tail doesn't shift left or right so easily. That'll keep it nice and straight. Once the tail is secure, you can take a penny to add some weight on the front of the plane to help with flight by placing the penny over here and securing it on the top of the wing with a piece of tape. Now it's time to fly your glider. Remember, use your elevons and your rudder to control the flight path of your plane.
Okay, so that is the first part. And oh, oh, all right. Okay, so let's go back to our screen here and we'll talk about that part of the experiment. Okay, so in the experiment, they're using drones to solve real-world problems. And this is a great opportunity for youth to work together as a team to think of stuff. So there could just be a great brainstorming session. In your guide, they have a Mad Libs kind of fill in the blank, create your own story. This is a great tool to use to help get some ideas going. There is also suggestions in the guide to help get the ball rolling. Some other tips for this particular activity is some safety tips. As you saw in that video, they did illustrate how how the gentleman showing us the video was being hit in the face with the prop copters. So that is definitely something that is you should think about. So I would suggest doing this outside, or if you have a large gym space or a large open area, that would be safer to fly the gliders and fly the prop copters. So those will be a lot of fun. And during that, the kids are hopefully learning concepts about drag, lift, the parts of the planes, and how they could better their prototype in this section. So this was a lot of fun. We did this last week as a live training, and the participants were able to do the activities, and even the adults were having a really fun time flying these paper or the prop copters and the gliders around. A suggestion that would be helpful is if you're working with younger youth and they just don't have that fine motor skills to cut out the template, you might have some of these available so that they don't have to use the cutting. You might also use teens or older adults to help with the younger youth. That's always a great option as well. Teens can be great teachers, and they could take the role of helping the younger youth learn these concepts. but you might also want to just have some of those extra plates, extra templates in case they break. As you can see, a styrofoam plate could easily get broken in half, so they might need some extras for trial and error. So now we're going to talk about the foam drone. This is that one big airplane that is in the kit. Okay, so we'll go to our foam drone how-to video. Okay, so that is the foam drome challenge. So essentially, the youth are making their gliders as their prototypes. They each can make one and test out those design principles on that. But then, as you notice in your kit, you only have one of the large foam drones. So that is where they have to work as a team. Okay. Okay. So with the foam drone, just a few things that might be helpful is let me get that, is to just have the youth practice different ways to take the video, what works best. And like you said, sometimes it's just going to be practice to learn what will work best to get that image. And it can be any image, like you said. It could be a person, it could be a picture a youth drew, it could just simply be an X, and that it would be perfectly fine. And they're just trying to see if they can capture that image. Now the next part is code copters, and this is using Scratch coding. This can be something that you completely omit from your activity depending on what age you're working with. If you're working with younger elementary age level, I would say that this part of the curriculum or this part of the experiment is probably not necessary. It's going to be above their head. But if you're working with fourth grade and above and you do have computer access, then I think that this code copters would be great for those youth to learn. We are not going to watch the full entire video for the code copters just because it is quite lengthy, and if that's something that you would like to view, then you'd be able to do that on your own. So we'll just briefly go over it here.
You're all set. Have fun.
Okay, so I didn't show you all of the video because she does go a little bit further into that particular program, but it is an online, pretty easy program to do with this experiment. So with any activity that we do in 4-H, we use the experiential learning model. So first in the experiential learning model is the experience, and that experience is the activities and the experiments in the drone discovery. Throughout the experiments, we are hoping that you are asking share questions, processing questions, generalization questions, and application questions. Remember to use the experiential learning model when conducting the experiment. This is what's going to take it from just a simple paper airplane contest to a STEM learning experience. A great resource for any STEM activities, but also great for this drone discovery activity, is clicktosciencepd.org. This website has some really great stuff for STEM learning. So if there is staff members that just don't have a STEM background or they want to learn more, this is a great place to come. There's free online and on-demand webinars in the STEM areas, and here are 20 skills to make STEM click. So one in particular that I think is great is asking purposeful questions. That's how you can really make an activity with just simply using some paper, airplanes and some foam drones into a really great STEM activity that kids can connect to. So I will just leave you with that, clicktosciencepd.org. So if you would like to get additional training in the STEM areas, this is some great, great resource here. And then additionally, I'd like to point out, if your youth in your program really connect with this activity, if they seem to be really interested in either the drone aspect or the computer coding, 4-H does have curriculum in these areas that you might consider running a 4-H club on aerospace or Scratch computer coding. Both really great curriculums. The Discovering Computer Science and Programming through Scratch just came out this past year. And it's a really great curriculum on how to teach kids how to do Scratch and coding. So if that's something they're interested in, I just wanted to point out that there is additional resources that you guys could get to run these programs. All right, reporting needs for National Youth Science Day. We hope that these kits get used all across the world to help kids connect with STEM and science. But we need to know who is using these kits. So for our reporting purposes, we would like you to go to National Youth Science Day, which is just 4h.org/NYSD. This is where you can find a lot of materials, but you can see it says register event. And when you go to register event, it's just a few questions, not a lot that you have to do, just probably would take you a few minutes. And then it just registers you nationally. And then on my end, for our partnership with the military, I have to turn in reporting. So I will be emailing a National Youth Science Day Drone Discovery Post-Event Survey. This helps us with our reporting needs, so please have the staff member that's leading the experiment fill out this survey. It will ask about reactions from the youth And we also would love to see photos. So don't forget to send us photos of your event. If you do use Facebook, you can always tag us on your Facebook. We are at Military 4-H Pacific. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody here. And if we have any questions, then we can. So. If I can figure out how to unmute you. Okay, I figured it out. So do you guys have any questions about this experiment?
Do you have any questions? Oh, yeah, you're right. No, Kate, we don't have any questions.